So prior to college, I graduated in 2010. I graduated as the top 10 in my class, which I was happy about because I worked really hard. Let me tell y'all about that. I was number 2 in my class for, I think, 2 years, Maybe it was 1. Maybe it was my junior year and my senior year, or maybe it was just my senior year, I was number 2. But by the time I graduated, like 3 days before graduation, I found out that I was not number 2 anymore. I ended up being number 4. That made me so angry, but I got over it because I was like, whatever, I'm going to whatever school I choose anyway, so it doesn't matter. But prior to graduating, I applied to 13 schools, and I got my top 3, and I was like, well, the deal breaker will be me visiting the campuses. So there was one particular university that was in my hometown. I really didn't want to live in my hometown. I was like, I'd rather live far away as possible so that I can get that distance and get that me being by myself type relationship with my family. And not that I didn't want to be around them, but I just wanted some independence because I'm the baby in my family. They treat me like a baby. So I was like, I got to get some distance with these people so that I can learn how to be on my own. And I've done it before. I've traveled, when I was 16, I went to San Diego by myself. So that gave me some independence, but it was like a week of independence and then I had to come back home. But after that, I was like, I had a taste of freedom. So I was like, oh my gosh, when I graduate, I'm going to just explode somewhere else. So the deal breaker was me visiting this particular campus in my hometown. As soon as I got there, I was just blown away. I never visited the campus prior to being accepted, so I didn't really know how beautiful the campus was and everything that it had to offer. I'm glad I waited until my senior year to see the place and actually get a feel for it. I think it was, looking back, it was probably the best decision that I ever made going to USC because I got a lot out of it, and I went, half the things that I did I don't think I would have done if I went anywhere else. So freshman year was probably the funnest year that I ever had at USC, simply because I made a lot of friends freshman year. Welcome week was probably the best thing that I ever did freshman year. I went to everything. I went to organization fairs, I went to meet and greets, I went to ice cream socials. I was just looking for friends, people to talk to. I'm the social butterfly, and I had to talk to everybody for some reason back then. And the guys, they talked to girls too. They're just so cute, and they just talked to me, and I was like, thank you so much. But yeah, freshman year was probably the most fun I ever had. And then my sister would come up a lot, and we'd just be on campus just talking to people and talking to guys, and guys would be talking to us, and mom wasn't around to be like, no, don't talk to him, leave that boy alone. No, it was just good, innocent fun. So freshman year was probably the highlight of my college career. Also, freshman year, I lived in a dorm. I lived on the 16th floor of my dorm, and it just so happens that, and it was an all-girls dorm, and the thing about the actual building that I lived in was from the 16th floor to the 18th floor, it was considered the sorority floor. So I wasn't a part of the sorority, but it was for girls who were rushing or they were already in a sorority. I don't know how I got put on that floor because I wasn't rushing and I wasn't interested in sororities at all, but I'm glad that I got to live there because I actually met a lot of interesting people, and a lot of the girls who joined those sororities I saw later on in college, and we had that connection with each other, and then parties and stuff. Like, yeah, call me for that so I can get, you know, we can get in there and have fun and go to mixers and stuff, which was fun. So freshman year, that's pretty much what I did. Academics, I was also very into my academics then too. Biology was my degree at the time, and I think I had like 6 classes per semester freshman year, and I actually did pretty good for it to be 6 classes. And I had a great schedule. I had a meal plan, so I wasn't going hungry. I went home every weekend to do laundry. I know I said I wanted distance, but I wasn't ready to do my own laundry in those facilities. Yeah, especially when I can get it done for free. So I would go home every weekend, and I would always be fed with my meal plan, which was great. By the time freshman year ended, I made a really, really close friend. Her name was Alex, and we met in the Taco Bell line, and we were just the closest that two people can be in college for us to be freshmen. I lived in one part of the quads and then she lived in the other part, and I just go visit her every day. I would take road trips with her, like leave class to go on road trips with her. We go to parties, we go to people's houses for dinner together, like friends. We always were together. So that was my freshman year. Sophomore year, I was kind of leaning towards joining a sorority. The fall of my sophomore year was kind of a mess because I was looking for another place to stay because I wasn't living in dorms anymore. I was looking for off-campus housing. I also got a job sophomore year, and I was trying to balance my job with not having a car and just changing majors and trying to adjust my life a little bit because I decided I didn't want to be a veterinarian anymore. I wanted to do public relations, so I had to switch majors in the middle of a semester. And when that happens, I still had to go through with the classes, so my grades didn't really do all that good fall semester. But by the time spring came around, it kind of got better. I started taking my journalism classes, so I kind of got into the swing of things. And I also joined a sorority sophomore year, the spring of sophomore year. So, and I also had a place to live. So it kind of balanced itself out. And I also had my sister there, so she was like my biggest support system. Spring, sophomore year, I was a mess. It was just so stressful. It was so stressful. But junior year is when it started to make itself a little more. I started to find a balance in myself. I was balancing school, I was balancing work, I was balancing sorority, extracurricular activities. We had a homecoming step show that we had to do that year. I also was doing a lot of community service. So I was just, junior year, if I could describe it in one word, I would say it was busy. Busy and boys. For some reason, by the time I got around my junior year, just boys just kept coming around. And it's just weird. It was so weird because I wasn't interested in boys. Not saying I was interested in girls, but I wasn't interested in dating at the time. And freshman year, I only dated one guy freshman year, and after that I was like, no, it's not. Dating just gets in the way of school. So I was like, I'm not even gonna deal with that. So I wasn't even interested in dating after freshman year. I was just interested in going to class and doing my work and making money. So junior year, when the boys started coming around, a little distracted, but it kind of worked out. Senior year, though, I have to say, was the best year. I'll say fall 2013 was the best year ever. Like it was amazing. Mainly because that was the year that I studied abroad. I lived in England for 3 months, and it was when I say that it was the best decision that I've ever made, it was the best decision that I ever made. And I'm actually not afraid of flying. I've been on a plane maybe 3 times. I went to San Diego, and then I went to Indiana for a couple of days, and then I went to England. And let me tell you, if you have an opportunity to study abroad, you should definitely do it. Mainly because if you're like me and you were living in this bubble your entire life where the farthest you went was out west for a couple days and you came back home immediately, then I would definitely recommend branching out and going somewhere else. I'm glad that I waited until I was a little more mature, like a senior in college, to go, because it just taught me to just tolerate people more and to build, like, I had to be more open to other people's ideas because I can be very stubborn sometimes. So I had to grow a little bit before doing something on my own, something big like that. And not only did I have to make personal changes, but I had to make financial decisions. I had to figure out where I was going to stay. I had to figure out what I was going to eat, whether I was going to get a meal plan over there or cook my own food, which I opted for the latter. And it was just the best time that I ever had. If you want to see my study abroad experience, you can look at my later blog post that I have called The Canterbury Chronicles, and you can also check out my actual blog that is thecanterburychronicles.com, which I will post up here, and you can click on that and take a look at that. but it was just the most amazing time ever. I wish, the one regret that I have was not being able to fly my mom and sisters out to come see me, because I didn't know I could do that. All of my housemates were like, oh, our parents are coming, and I was like, your parents are coming? Why didn't I think of that? It was the very end of the semester, and I was like, dang, that would have been fun. I would have wanted them to come with me to Paris. No one tells me anything. Like, decisions like that I had to learn how to make, but that was it was just amazing. It was so amazing. I made so many friends when I was over there, and the friends that I had when I was over there, I still talk to today. Like, one of my friends had a birthday today, and I told her happy birthday, and I just miss it so much because I had such a good time just meeting people from different cultures. Like, I thought that people in England were just like us. They kind of are, but they're not. It's weird. I think they like Southerners more because we smile a lot, and I have a really funny accent over there, so they like to hear me talk, and I do the same thing to them. But it was the best time that I ever had, and I'm glad that I made that decision. By the time it was time for me to graduate, I learned a lot. I think I grew a lot as a person, actually, because I actually am a lot less snippier than I was when I was in high school. I'm a lot more confident in myself, and I'm a lot more easy to relate to, I think. And the one thing that I absolutely love about myself, if I'm able to talk about myself, is that I gave myself a chance to try every opportunity that was available to me. Everything. Like, I worked in the study abroad office, and I was like, I want to study abroad, and I did that. I found a sorority that I wanted to join, and I obsessed over it for days and weeks and did my research, and I was like, I'm going to join that, and I did. And I moved out of my mom's house, and I lived on my own for a while. Did it. And it was hard, but I did it. But it was just such a learning experience being in college. I wouldn't change a thing after looking back on all the stuff that I did. I wouldn't change a thing because I learned so much about myself. And I would definitely recommend for anyone to definitely try something new if they haven't already. Maybe living in your hometown isn't for you, so go somewhere else, but it was good enough for me. So I really thoroughly enjoyed my experience, and I really wouldn't change it for the world.